I'm making enchiladas, and a couple of my friends wanted me to show them how I make enchiladas, so I'm putting together a little video, and I'll show you kind of the steps that I go through when I make a big batch of my grandmother's recipe of Mexican enchiladas. So some of the ingredients that we use are obviously tortillas for wrapping the enchiladas. This is my favorite brand. You can get them almost anywhere in the country, I think. Generally, just buy a giant bag of shredded cheese. Mild cheddar cheese works really well. Colby cheese works great. I think my grandmother usually uses Colby. A blend of Colby Jack is good too. You can pretty much use whatever. This happened to be cheap, and so there it is. And I use O'Brien style hash browns. Potatoes O'Brien have onions and bell peppers already chopped up in the mix for you. So it's a really convenient way to just mix it all in. You don't have to do any cutting, you don't have to do, all the crazy, you don't have to buy the vegetables. Just buy a bag, it's frozen, stick it in the mix, you're good to go. You mix it all together in a big bowl. You want to have about like a 1-to-1 ratio of cheese to potatoes. This is a vegetarian variety because I'm a vegetarian, but my grandmother does use ground beef in hers as well. She makes several different kinds. I just use cheese and potatoes, and the spice and the flavoring mostly comes from the sauce, and I'll show you the sauce next. The sauce is made from these wonderful chile ancho peppers. These are dried. You can buy them some grocery stores carry them now. If they have a good Mexican section, they'll carry dried chile ancho peppers. And these, you just bring them home, you clean them, you can hear the rattling. Those are the seeds inside. You have to take the stem off and clean out the seeds and soak them a little bit. And you boil them in water, and then once they're all soft, you grind them through a colander. I'm not going to show you this part today because I did this in advance and I saved the sauce from last time, and so here is the reheated sauce. It freezes really well. So what I did is I made a whole big batch of chile ancho sauce. I froze it in containers, and now I have chile ancho sauce whenever I want to make new enchiladas. Okay, this is going to be about the hardest thing I've ever done on video, so I'm going to try to dip one of the tortillas, fresh tortilla here, in the enchilada sauce for you with one hand. Usually you only use one hand anyway, but this is how we coat the enchiladas in the sauce. You just dip it on one side, and you see it turns orange. That's a very pretty color. I love that color. And you dip it on the other side. Just kind of let the excess drip off. And you just stack them on a plate like this. You do about a dozen at a time, or whatever's in a package. I think they're 10 or 12 in a package. So I'll do another one here. Just dip the enchilada. And this sauce has not only the strained chile ancho peppers, but it has garlic and onion powder and salt and pepper and just like, typical seasonings. The kitchen right now, the whole kitchen and most of the house actually smells amazing right now. It's this wonderful warm, chile anchos are kind of sweet, so it's this warm, sweet chili flavor scent with the garlic scent and everything wafting in the air. It's wonderful. So now that I have my stack of dipped tortillas here, I'm going to show you how we rolled them up. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet because I have to use both hands, but here we go, we'll try it. Okay, I think this will work. Got my stack of tortillas here, and this is my bowl with the wonderful cheese and onions and potatoes. We just take a handful and put it close to the edge. We roll the edge that doesn't have as much sauce on it inside the tortilla, so it doesn't show on the outside, and it gets all coated anyway once it gets inside the enchilada. So put a handful across there, and just roll it up nice and tight so it doesn't crumble apart. But not too tight because it'll burst. You have to be careful not to tear the tortillas now that they're wet. They get a little soggy. So here is the rolled enchilada. We just tuck the end under like this, and it gets put into, I don't know if you can see it now, a pan. We just stack them in a pan so they kind of form together in the, you know, once the tortilla is soaked, it kind of shapes itself, you know. So now we have more enchiladas to roll. These are different from enchiladas you get in a lot of Mexican restaurants because they will roll the tortillas dry and then just pour the sauce over them. But the way we do it here is because we can freeze these with the sauce already on them, and you freeze them in like a bag of about a dozen. And you can just pull them apart, you know, as you want to eat them, you pull out 2 or 3 at a time and heat them up, and they're just the same as if you had made them fresh that day. They freeze really well. And you don't have to worry about messy sauce every time, you know, you can just pull out what you're going to eat and be done. Okay. So here I am with my pan of freshly made enchiladas. They look great and they smell even better. The way you cook these is you can put them in the oven, right in the pan like this. Usually you should put them in as 1 layer. I've got 2 layers here, so they wouldn't really bake very well this way. But you can bake them in the oven if you want them crispy on the outside. If you don't like them really crispy on the outside, you put them in the microwave, and they get nice and soft and gooey, and the cheese runs out all over the place, and it's just perfect. So those are the 2 ways that you can cook them. So I am finished showing you how to make Grandma's Mexican enchiladas. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.